Hello, good day. My name is Montinchi Molehon. So, in this short video tutorial, I will discuss to you how to perform SQL commands and at the same time the connection of the SQL from Java application to MySQL using the XAMPP. So, before we get started, I just want to give you a short description about the Java Database Connectivity or the JDBC. Actually, it is an application programming interface or an API for short for the programming language of Java, which defines how a client may access a database. JDBC provides an interface which allows you to perform SQL operations independently of the instance of the used database. To use JDBC, you require the database-specific implementation of the JDBC driver. It is a Java-based data access technology used for Java database connectivity. So, before we perform an SQL connection from Java to MySQL, these are the requirements. First, we will use the XAMPP. So you need to install the XAMPP. It is an open source cross-platform web server solution stock package. So this is usually an interpreter for scripts written in the PHP and the Perl programming language. Second, it is very important for you to download this MySQL JDBC driver. Okay, to connect to MySQL, you just click this link. Okay, I will perform a basic so you can write this in a MySQL connector, Java, or whatever version you want. And then once you directed to the here, so once I click this JDBC driver in my Google, so just click the platform independent. Okay, so and then the platform independent, and just click the download. So you need this because this driver will allow the Java program to connect to the database. Okay, so once you downloaded it, okay, and then from the third is the Java coding in Eclipse. So for now, I am just only using an Eclipse as an IDE. So once you downloaded the connector, let's proceed to this IDE. So once you downloaded the connector, you need to add this into the class path. So here are the development process of the connection of the MySQL to the Java. First, add MySQL database driver to class path. So for this, for example, I created project name programming to advanced prog. And then right click to this and then click the build path and configure the build path. Okay, in this window, click the add external JARs, and then your MySQL connector, once you downloaded it, just click the MySQL connector Java bin.jar here. Okay, and then open. So I already added that to my reference library. So apply and close. And then once you apply and close, it will now be reflected to this reference libraries. It will now added to your So you have now this driver that will help you to connect your Java application to perform an SQL commands to MySQL on the XAMPP application. So let's go to the XAMPP. Okay, so here just click the start from the Apache and the MySQL, and then go to the admin. So here into the admin, the XAMPP, I believe it is a very basic how to create a database. Just click the new and then create a database name. Okay, for example, students, create. So this is now your database name, which is the student. And then what is this? For you to create the table. So the table is, for example, from the student, the test DB. We have the 4 or something, 2 columns or attributes. So let's say the username. First is the username attribute, and then the second is password attribute. So this is the data type, what type of data. Okay, and then the length of the values, let's say 20, and then 20. Okay, and then save. Once you save this, you already have, under the table test DB, you have these 2 attributes. So we don't have a value yet from this. Okay, so we already created this database, so it's very easy. Okay, so now let's proceed to this. So we already add the MySQL database driver to the class path. Now second is setting a driver class and getting the connection. So from here we have to set first the connection to the Java by setting the class driver. So I will create new class, okay, connection MySQL. And then let's check this public static void main, our main method. Okay, so before we do some SQL connection, it's very important to import a package of java.sql.asterisk, because we will need to use all the statement, the prepared statement, the result set, etc. And then inside of this main method, we will now use the connection statement, and then a variable con. And then before to start the connection, I just want to put a try and catch as an exemption handling. Okay, wherein all the connection must be tested first before it execute my program. So since this is a connection, so I will use the SQL exemption. So for now, this is an odd error because we don't have connection yet here. So first, just want to create the driver class for the MySQL database. So for this, to create a class that for name. So we will now, as you can see here, the com, okay, the com.mysql.jdbc. So we will write it down here, class.forName, com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, and then once this class is that and then we will now create a catch again, which is class not found exemption. Okay, and then to print out the stocks, to list all the errors. Okay. So this class not found exemption is pertaining to this driver class. So if once you run this program and this driver, this class driver determined by your compiler, it will be thrown to the class not found exemption. And then next, after we declare the driver class, we will now create the connection. The connection, first, we declare already a connection statement, which is the variable con. So we will use this con variable, and then we will now write the drive manager dot get connection. So this is now your code to connect it. What database name? Okay, so since we already have the driver class, we will now connect it to the, for example, we created the database, or just simply this student. Okay, this student. The database name for this is student, and we have this different or the following tables. So student. Okay, so the syntax for this is the JDBC colon MySQL colon and then localhost colon and then the name of your, so the name of our database is student, so we will now write it here, student, JDBC colon MySQL, etc. So this is the path of where is your database, and then comma, we will now write what is the username and the password of your, if there's for the security purposes, you can also set the username and password for your PHP admin, but if you didn't set any username and password, you can write a default value for the username and password. For the default value of the username, you just only write the root and then comma for the password, null. So again, the path, first argument the path, second is the username, and then the password. Okay, driver manager. So let's try system.out.print line. Okay, database connected. Okay, so let's try database connected. So let's say let's change this student to, okay, so remember there's no students with lots of S here. Okay, so once we run this program, it will be thrown into the SQL exemption, which is the print stack trace, because it is an unknown database. Okay, so our compiler, yes, the compiler reads already the database name, because we already have this class driver, and then we add the MySQL driver to our class path. Okay, so we already did the connection, so you can now start to do some SQL statements. Okay, so for we to perform an SQL statement, we need the prepare statement. Okay, prepare statement. Prepare statement, for example, select. Okay, one of the SQL statement, the basic SQL commands in SQL is the select, selecting all the values inside of your table. So let's say select. Okay, you can select and then is equal to, we will now use again this the connection variable, dot prepare statement. Okay, sorry, this is with D, and then this is just only prepare, and then we will now write. Okay, so what's the purpose of this prepared statement? Prepared statement is an interface in the Java that are used to convert Java types into the SQL data, meaning it is where the SQL statements are imputed. So if you want to perform an SQL statement, we need to use this statement, the prepared statement. Okay, so let's say select here is from, okay, it's just only a simple ano na. So let's select, for example, let's see this test users. This test users, so we have this database name, the student, okay, student, and then we already connected to the student. So under the student database, which is the table, so test here, the test users. So select from test underscore users. Okay. There. Sorry. What's this? Yes. On that prepare statement. Okay. So once we run this, database connected, but we cannot, we still don't see the result of this because this is just only a statement we use to execute an SQL command. Okay, but the third one, last one is we need to use the result set. Okay, result set. What is the result set? The purpose of the result set is it is an object that contains the result of the executing of an SQL query. Or in other words, it contains the rows that satisfy the condition of the query. Okay, the result set object maintains maintaining the cursor pointing to its current row of data. So the data stored in the result set object is retrieved through a set of get methods that allows access to the various columns of the current row. So in other statement that also used for the result set is the result set dot next. Okay, result set dot next. Okay, so later we will perform this result set. Okay, so let's start. Result set. Okay, after the prepared statement, we will now use the result set. Result set, let's say rs as a variable or an object. Okay, is equal to select. Okay, select that execute query. Okay, result set rs is equal to select, and then you want to execute the query for this. Okay, so as you can see, select, you use this select here. Okay, and then after that we will now use the dot next. So since rs is the variable, so we need to use the while. This rs dot next. So for us to see the result of this prepared statement, we will now write for each row using the while statement. Okay, let's display system.out. System.out print line. So every row. Okay. So first is user name is equal to, and then concatenate rs get, we must get the string because in this these two attributes here are string. Okay, get string, and then inside of this get string, the attributes name, which is the username and password. So it must be same with the lowercase letters. Okay, username Then after that, now concatenate again and then space. Just want to write an or. Okay. Password is equal to, let's copy this. Alright. And then password. Okay. So again, as I've said, no, the result set is an object that is retrieved through a set of get methods, wherein maintains the cursor pointing to its current row of data. So each of this row will be tested, and if every time this is true, will now be doing a looping statement with the use of while. So let's try. Okay. All right. So you can see on this output, database connected here, and then preparing the statement. The result set, which is the RS, execute the query, and then using the looping statement, we can now display all the value inside of this our database in the XAMPP, in MySQL, because we just only use select statement. Okay, mark 01. Let's say I just want to add. Okay, last example is I want to perform an insert value to my database. So I want to insert here. So again, what we will now use for this is the prepare statement again. Okay, so let's prepared statement insert is equal to the connection dot prepare statement. So let's say, okay, I want to insert to the test users. So the our table is the test users here. It's easily okay. So let's say opening close parenthesis, opening close double quotation, insert into what table test users. So this is it, test users. And then inside of the values, or first we will now write those attributes, username and the password. So username, comma, must be same. Okay, the two columns here are our attributes, the username and password. So since this is lowercase, so we need to write it in the lowercase. And then after that, the values, the values that we want to insert. So this is the syntax of inserting value to our database using the SQL commands. Okay, values, for example, first row or first column natin is username. So I will write Trish at example.com. That's our first column, username. Our second column is the password. So let's say our second column, password here, 1 to 8. Okay, so that's our prepare statement for the insert. So how to execute the insert function? Okay, just only use this. Before the result set, we need to perform first the inserting value before we display all the results. So in this space, I will write insert dot execute updating our database. Execute update. So let's try. Okay. So once I run this program, so as you can see, we just only have three accounts. Okay. Okay. It's already here. Trish at example.com. From here. And then let's see here. Okay. It's already working. So this is the basic connection. Okay, from your Java application, Java program connection to the MySQL using the XAMPP application. So all this development process was already performed. Okay, so I hope you understand, and if you have questions, just let me know. So thank you for watching. God bless.